counseling. They now run the whole thing. And it's open to all school districts on Long Island. And what it is fifth graders have a curriculum back at school, and they have an opportunity to go on a one-day field trip. And 2 classes, about 50 children, show up, and they have already written out their resume and been assigned to a job. So one person's the bookkeeper, someone is the banker, and you get a paycheck, $4.50. You go over to your friend, the 11-year-old who's the banker, and you deposit your check, and now you could go shopping and buying promotional items, people's pens and whatever. And Capital One has been amazing to us. I think they give a tremendous donation every single year or every other year. IKEA recently helped in their kitchen, and I think Capital One redecorated the whole place. Wow. And it's just an amazing experience for the children. They have to stand up at the end of the day, and every bookkeeper has to say whether they made a profit and loss. And so that was in the nonprofit world. I said, you know what? Who's teaching the younger children? And maybe, maybe there's an opportunity here. So we started a company called Money Masters, and we have an animated character named Walter the Vault, and any child can go to walterthevault.com and play games. We have Raining Change, which is a game where money's falling out of the sky and you have to catch $1.25, all the pennies, all the nickels, and the kids can have fun. There's all sorts of great charts. We're trying to teach the kids to save reasonably, spend responsibly, budget carefully, make choices, invest wisely, learn to earn, give appropriately of their time and their money, and set written goals.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio. Our guest today is Karen Tenenbaum of Tenenbaum Law, PC Tax Attorneys. My name is Donyshia Boston-Hill, along with Ray Schwetz on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Let's go inside the mind of a 10-year-old.
I should have worn those earrings today. I like those earrings. Gabby has those awesome earrings. I need to ask her where she got those, but that's just what she would want me to do. I'll have Michaela ask her for me.
Buckle up, Sarah.
Yeah, but then Michaela will be like, why don't you just ask her yourself? That's just like Michaela.
Sarah, buckle up.
Michaela's such a great name. I wish I was called Michaela. There's like a dozen Sarahs in my class.
Hey, we're not hitting the road until you buckle up, honey.
Oh yeah, seatbelt. I forget sometimes because my brain is like busy, I wonder if there's pizza at school today.
Sometimes it can be tough to get through to your kids, but it's not impossible. Always make sure they're wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Remember, you have the keys, you have the power. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
And welcome back to Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm your host, Donyshia Boston-Hill, along with Ray Schwetz. And our honored guest today is Karen Tenenbaum of Tenenbaum Law, PC Attorneys. Karen, you are doing so much in the community. I mean, from, Walter the Vault, and money just like showering us and falling from the
I
sky.
think I need that to happen in real life.
I need that as well.
Yes. It was funny when you were talking about that story with your daughter. I was thinking of Bitcoin.
Oh.
The real money for fake money. But
That's
anyway.
right.
I love that.
So now I have to just tell you, one of the things that we're looking to do, we created an activity book for children and for parents.
Yes.
And we were hired by a toy company, and it's actually in 8 of their products. So they have a plastic ATM machine, a coin counting machine, and our booklet, our Money Masters booklet, is included. And what we're looking to do now, and nephew might be interested, is we'd like to have it printed and maybe, with your name on it, and give them out either at schools or hospitals or have the financial institutions give it out themselves, because it's fun for kids to play with different activities. So we have word games and charts and goal-setting charts. Kids love that. They want to know, are they getting an allowance? What happens if I do chores? What happens if I don't do chores?
Well, if it can motivate my kids to do chores. I
think
I'll
take that.
We're
I'm
both
taking
on board.
notes.
Oh, yeah.
But if you make it fun, we always say start young and make it fun. And so that's what we're looking to do. And if you go to walterthevault.com, there's so many free charts that you could download right now and so many fun toys and games. The most fun to me is there's pencils that pop up and you could color in Walter in every season, for every holiday, and in every color. It's a lot of fun. And it's all free, Right now,
Oh,
it's all
I
free.
love that.
Yeah.
I'm taking notes for this fall.
Yes.
Now, Karen, tell us, who or what inspires you?
I love to learn from other people. So here we were in the Goldman Sachs program together. What an amazing community, right?
Yes.
So when you hear other people being successful or trying things and maybe not even being successful, they had certain challenges that you could relate to, and now you see how they overcome them. I learn so much from other people. I love people. I'm a people person. I love being out in the world. I'm always networking. And I always look at it as, again, my husband says, you're walking into that room. Is that exciting? To me, it's, even though I know these professionals, I know them in a way personally. I know them for 30 years. I know the same people. I want to know how the kids are doing and who's going to college, who's getting married, who's having grandchildren. I really want to know. I'm really interested in the people.
That's life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Makes
you
it
know
fun.
what? I mean, and you're definitely recognized for all of that. I mean, Dee,
Thank
you're
you.
starting to touch on some of the accolades that you've received. So, tell us a little bit about that. I know, it's hard to talk about yourself, but tell us a little about some of the accolades and what you've been receiving.
Yeah,
One
so-
of them, for example, the New York super lawyer as practitioner in tax law.
Thank you. Yeah, so we're also a top tax law firm by Long Island Business News, and we've been ranked top women-owned law firm in the top 100 by the New York Law Journal. I've earned the leadership in the law from the Long Island Business News, legal leaders from a Newsday event, the top 50 women in business. I was just recently a Power Woman by the Long Island Press, Vicky Schnepp's company, and I've been a legal eagle through Pulse for one of my victories in one of my cases. That's a few of the top ones.
Just a few. Just a few, too.
Those are just the recent
name
ones
a
I'm
few.
aware of.
We're sitting here with someone who is just amazing at everything she does.
Oh,
so.
thank you. I have to say, I'm very lucky because I have a great family. I have a great husband. I have 2 great daughters, a great support system, great family, and I work with great people. So I've really surrounded myself with a great community.
Yeah, and we appreciate you extending your community with our listeners.
Oh, thank you.
Because I'm sure there's someone out there that's really benefiting from your experience overall. So,
Now, what would you say has been your greatest triumph to date, and what has been some challenges that you see in the industry you're in?
So the greatest triumph is really my family. 30 years ago when I got engaged to my husband, I did a 30-year plan. And I said, where do I want to be? And I can't say that every single thing is exactly the same for over the 30 years, but I have to say I hit the major milestones. I successfully raised a beautiful family, have a great career. Again, I'm a great husband. I'm married for 34 years.
he's a good-looking guy.
Thank you. He just ran the half marathon in Massachusetts in approximately 2 hours. That was his goal. Wow. And we had a very long car ride there, 6 hours there. There was traffic on Friday and 5.5 hours on the way coming back. And it confirms that we're compatible. We really enjoyed each other's company, sitting 6 hours in a car together. We
No
had fun.
detours.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. It was really great. Challenges, look, growth in business is always a challenge. Wait, let me just go back. So my kids have gotten married to the nicest boys, and they both have successful careers. They're both living in the city and married into nice families, and everybody's happy and healthy. And my parents, thank God, are alive, and they go into dancing. They dance a few nights a week, and it's very nice to see that. It's a good
blessed.
stage of life. Yeah.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, and our guest today is Karen Tenenbaum of Tenenbaum Law, PC Tax Attorneys.
Now, Karen, what changes do you see in the industry overall?
Yeah, so because of the new tax law, the state and local deductions are limited now to $10,000, and so that's actually going to create a lot of movement out of New York State. So we handle a lot of residency audits, these snowbirds, and I think you're going to see even more of them. New York State already is aggressive and has been for many years. They make something like $225 million a year just on that audit program alone, and they do about 3,000 a year. And I just think you're going to see more people moving out, and so New York State's going to challenge more of them. So if you have any connections to New York State, and at the same time connections elsewhere, you really want to do some planning in advance because they're going to compare where you claim your domicile is to here. And if you're the one moving out, you have the burden of proof by clear and convincing evidence. And I have actually on my website, litaxattorney.com, a free ebook for residency. So anyone could download it for free and see what the general rules are. Most people think, if I just spend 6 months and a day in Florida, that's enough. Well, that's not enough. There's so many more specifics and rules that you need to know, and most people don't know them.
Well, no, I'm taking notes, and folks, listen up because I aspire to be a snowbird, that's my new word for the day.
Snowbird.
Snowbird.
All right, I like that.
I like that. Thank you for sharing that. That's going to be, my goal.
Now, a lot of people live in New Jersey or Connecticut and work in Manhattan, and maybe even have an apartment in the city, or have a house in the Hamptons. And so there's a famous case, the Barker case, where a hedge fund guy clearly lived in Connecticut, but had a house in the Hamptons that he didn't even use more than 2 weeks a year. And he ended up but he worked in the city. He ended up getting taxed on all of his income, wherever it was derived. And it didn't matter that he didn't visit the Hamptons home more than 183 days. He was in the city more than 183 days. And because he didn't check the box that he had living quarters in New York, they charged him a penalty. It cost him $1 million. They say it's the hidden cost of either having an apartment or a vacation home. So you really got to do your planning.
Now, you have a wealth of information on your website. That's one of the things I thought was very, very cool about your website is that it's not only just information about where to find you and all that type of stuff, but also just a lot of resources. So kudos to you for thinking to include all of that. Now, what's some interesting things that might surprise some of our listeners about you?
So let's see. I love to dance. I go every single week. I go out dancing, and I'm part of an amazing dance community. Talk about supportive. Oh, cool. I was out last night. As a matter of fact, we were at an all-white party, like dinner on Blanc. You have to wear all white head to toe. It was somebody's birthday, and it's just a great group of people. About 100 people. We get together for New Year's Eve. They get together over the summer for parties, and then every week they all get together to dance. So it's very supportive. Also, I love to entertain, and I was afraid of the kitchen, and so when I turned a certain age, I won't say what age, I took cooking classes at the French Culinary Institute, a very intensive class where they give you a chef's jacket and all the tools you need, chef's knives, etc. And after that, I've actually volunteered at the James Beard House, the James Beard Chefs and Champagne out in the Hamptons. I've been in some of the famous restaurants with the famous chefs, Thomas Keller's Per Se. They let me go there. Eric Repair at Le Bernardin. He allowed me to be there for a day. And so I've had a lot of fun. I volunteer every year at the New York City Wine and Food Festival. I've been with Rachel Ray. I've been with Giada. And and it's just a wonderful thing. And these are all fundraisers. So I kind of feel like I'm volunteering. I'm helping out. It's my way to give back.
Now, if there was a bit of advice you would like to leave with our listeners, what would you tell them?
Okay, so it's funny that you say that. So just a few weeks ago, I did a Goldman Sachs webinar on goal setting. And in fact, I was talking to Ray about it earlier. I came up with a 6-step process. Be clear about what you want, what's important in life. I always say be happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, have good relationships, and have good values. Then you want to narrow your timeline and be specific so that you so I came up with 6 steps, and with each one, I have tools and examples, both in the personal and professional life. And if anybody wants my PowerPoint, they could write me at K Tenenbaum, that's KTENENBAUM at litaxattorney.com, and I'll gladly share it with you. So the first is be clear about what you want, have the big picture view. This is my 30-year plan when I met my husband. Then you want to narrow it down. I have a chart that allows you to do a few things. One, pick out what your goals are 6 months from now, a year from now, and 5 years from now. And then I have an organizational chart to where you want to be a year from now, 2 years from, 3 years from now. Then step 3, take action and be consistent. What are your roles? I use Stephen Covey's First Things First. Write down all the different roles you have. What are actions you're going to take each week? And which specific day are you going to take it? So I have a calendar to plan out your week.
I'm snatching this copy here,
Yeah,
folks.
You can totally take it. So that's the personal side or the business side. And then I have a bingo, I'll call it a marketing bingo chart or scorecard. Who are the audiences you want to attract? What activities you want to do, speeches, articles, blogs, you want to get awards, networking, newsletters, and how many of each do you want? And then check it off as you go for each month, July, August, etc.
That's very cool.
Step 4, track and measure. You could have a scorecard with a graph paper, and I have a business dashboard that keeps track of revenues, how many phone calls, how many convert to a meeting, how many convert to a client. Then step 5, evaluate and reconsider because things change. Step 6, try it out. And really just do it because what is success? Clarity plus consistency.
Karen, thank you so much for coming into the show today. Tower Talk Business Radio is so much better for having you, all the advice, tips, and tools that you're providing today.
Yes, we want to thank you for being with us. My name is Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, your co-host and producers. The creative director of Tower Talk Business Radio is Rudy Breedy. This is an NCC Foundation Business Leaders Council production. Visit ncc.edu/WHPC for more information. Available as a podcast on iTunes